Today's episode is brought to you by Eirian Studios and EirianWrites.com. EirianWrites.com is what I like to call the mothership. There you will find all of the Eirian Writes books, both paperback and ebooks, as well as Eirian Writes wearables that you won't find anywhere else. Check out the recently launched Pink Candy cover artwork collection, and don't forget to sign up for the newsletter to find out when the next collection launches. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get back to today's episode. If you would ever like to listen to Writing with Eirian episodes while you are doing dishes, picking up dog poop, or driving to work, head over to EirianWrites.com/writing. That's EirianWrites.com/WRITING to stream this episode and all the other Writing with Eirian episodes in audio format. Greetings and salutations, beautiful starshine. Welcome, misfits, sugar plums, and goddesses alike. I appreciate you being here, sweetheart. Welcome back to Writing with Eirian. Before we dive in to my craft and my writing tips, I wanted to give you a very brief overview of the steps that you will take as a self-published author. In later episodes, I will do a deep dive into how to write a story, build characters, create a world, and so forth, but today we're going to pretend you've written a book and are ready to put it out into the world, and you've already picked a distributor. The first piece of advice I have, which I have gleaned from listening to hours of self-publishing podcasts, is to have 3 books written before you publish anything. Sure, maybe do blogs or something if your heart is there, but don't publish any books until they're written beginning to end and you have 3 of them in your pocket. I didn't know this starting out, and I really wish I did, because you could never make a living off of one book. That's a really dumb approach that won't get you anywhere. You need to have inventory and a place for people who fall in love with your books to come back to. If you want to be a writer or a storyteller for a living, you have got to want to tell stories with an IES. Otherwise, what are we doing here? So, you have an idea that you have fleshed out into a 3-part series. Now what? Surprisingly, first and foremost is the cover, because if you have a cover and a manuscript, you can start pre-orders. We'll talk more in depth about investing in covers and cover design in a separate episode, so please subscribe. But the cover is one of the most crucial parts of the equation, which should be figured out early on and well invested in. Side note, I actually don't just mean buying covers when I say well invested in. So again, subscribe if you want to know more so you don't miss that upcoming episode. Now, you need someone to edit your manuscript. And if you have a well-crafted process, it might be your 3rd draft, but you need someone to read your book and give you one-on-one feedback before you go to beta testing. So exchange drafts and notes with this editor multiple times before you build a beta reading team. Then you go to beta testing, where you have a group of readers, pretty much always handpicked from social media or somewhere else online, people who will read your book and give you reader feedback before the release, so that way you can update your manuscript with what they give back to you and make it the best reader experience possible. This process may also be several exchanges. Then you get that back to the editor, And then once the editor is done with it, you get it over to proofreading, which typically should be two different people, your proofreader and your editor, but sometimes they're the same. Then, after all of that is done, you either write or outsource your copy, which for those of you who don't know, copy is going to be the description on the back of the book, the blurb, your author bio, all of the ad and marketing stuff that is going to make people want to buy your book. So the back of the book description has to be great, so on and so forth. That is all your copy. And then once all of that is nailed down, you go into launch. Whew, that was a very streamlined step-by-step explanation of how each book is rolled out. You write the book, you get the rough draft over to the editor. If you have a streamlined process, it's like your third or fourth draft before you get it to the editor. Then you have several exchanges with the editor, beta test reading, which may also be several exchanges back to the editor, proofreading, write the copy, launch. Whew. It's not for everybody. You have to be doing it because you love it, because you have to go through all that, and then you have to keep going. You do not get to kick your feet back and take a break. You have got to keep going. If you have 3 books already in the chute, it helps to shortcut the process because you simply do the editing, beta reading, proofreading, release cycle a couple more times. But if you don't have a book read and you have to start over from the beginning, if you don't have a book written and you have to start over from the beginning, i.e. plotting, writing, etc., before you can get back to editing, beta reading, proofreading, and another book out into the world, either way, it's not a quick process. And if you're doing it well, it takes a significant amount of dedication. I am really proud of you for being here, being dedicated to your craft, educating yourself, investing in your future, and I know that we can do this together if equipped with the right tools. And just like I have a podcast about rebuilding yourself after living through insanely traumatic experiences because I lived through it for years, I don't want you to spend 10 years fumbling around in the dark. I want to help you accelerate your craft because I have been learning how to accelerate mine. Stay tuned for future episodes such as my opinion on Kindle Direct Publishing versus draft to digital, why I'm not on TikTok, aka Book Talk, the all-important cover design, plotting and series writing, world building, and so much more. If you want to check out what I've been writing, my bookshop link is pinned in the comments. Drop your writing links down below so I can check them out. This has been your friend Eirian Writes, and until next time, sweetheart, keep on writing. Ciao! Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Writing with Eirian. As a token of my appreciation, I would like to personally invite you to join the Eirian Writes Forum. I have built a place for us to talk, chill, and network that is totally decentralized. No Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or Twitter, just an old school forum for you to chat and congregate at like the early 2000s. Head over to eirianwrites.com/forum. That's EIRIANWRITES.com/FORUM to join today.